Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to take off a top of the Keurig. There's a lot of ways to do it. I think mine is the fastest and the easiest with less hassle. So this is a B70 Keurig, the top, and I'm going to show you how to take it off. It's pretty simple once you know the little trick here. What you will need is a saw. This is a metallic saw, but Stanley, small teeth. The key is that it's very thin. That's what you're looking for here. And the second thing you need is some kind of wedge. I have this enormous screwdriver here, but pretty much any wedge, chisel or anything like that will work. Even your butter knife actually will work just fine. This is just my to keep all the bolts in separated. All of them are going to be different, so I highly recommend you keep track of them somehow. And of course, screwdriver, whatever. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open this bad boy up, and if you can see it underneath, right about here, there's going to be two screws. I just took them out. So what you want to do is you want to push and you want to take this out, this little part, so it comes out relatively easily. Once you do that, you will see two more screws right here. I'm going to take them out and I'm going to show you what to do right after that. Right, so I just took this out. I also did something else in the back right here. You can't really see it, but it's done. What you're going to do is you're going to take your saw and you go very careful right about the middle here. And just make a little hole, and then go a little bit this way and a little bit that way. Careful, there are pipes on the inside. Do not cut them. What you want to do next, also do the same thing on this side. This is the side where there's electronics. So when you cut in this side, make sure you're cutting towards the back a little bit. If you're careful enough, your cosmetics is going to be fine. That's the whole point, to save this with all the cosmetics attached. This side, the clip itself is on this side, so it's not a problem. So if you can just make a little hole in here, and you'll be fine. So once you do that, what you're going to do is going to put your little wedge, butter knife, whatever you want, put it in, and just pop it up. It'll take a little bit of force. Careful, if your wedge is not big enough, you'll damage the sides. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to pop this open and I'm going to show you what's underneath. It took me like 3 seconds. So you see this little clips here? Right there. Those are the little clips. And you got to make sure. That's what I was talking about here before. Just be careful not to cut into this. That's why you stay towards the back. If you go too far in, you might cut the wires, or if you're here not careful on the other side, you'll cut the tubing. Try to avoid that. Usually it's not too bad. Once you cut this bad boy off, there's a little lip you'll see here. It's plasticky. That's where you're cutting through, right here. Take your regular knife, just cut it off. Make it very flat. This will save you hassle when you put in this back on. It'll look a lot better, and the whole thing just snap back into place without any trouble. So, if you want to take off the back, what you want to do is you take these two screws off. The screw here and the screw on this side right here. Once you do that, you can flip this bad boy easily. And you can take off the 5 screws on the bottom. Okay? Alright, once I do that, I'll show you how to do the next part. Okay, so I unscrewed this thing. Just make sure keep track of your screws. They're all different. That's the biggest thing. Keep track. So you'll take this off, blah blah blah. You'll see something like this, okay? So what you want to do, there's going to be another whole bunch of screws back here. What we're trying to get to is this motor right here. This is what goes out most of the time. Unfortunately, the only way to get to this bad boy is you got to take off the cover. So to do that, since we already taken off the top, we got to take off the bottom here. So that means there's like 2 layers of screws, and once you open it, you'll see it. You'll see this is like the outside layer. You have the big screws right here on this side. I usually keep these screws on one side and these screws on the other side, and these 2 screws on different sides. I take them out because it makes my life easier. And also, this is the water sensor right here, the water intake. I take it out because it makes my life easier. It takes like 10 seconds, and then I put everything back in. Alright, I'll take this out and I'll show you how to do the next part after. Oh, before I take out all the screws, I just noticed something I wanted to show you. If you look carefully, you'll see rust. Right here. It's not focusing very well, but you'll see rust. This rust here could possibly be through the water intake, but if you look closer in the back, it's also here, which means most likely it's the solenoids that are located right above this. This whole thing is designed very, very poorly. I feel like somebody made this in the garage and then just mass-produced this. But just so this is a giveaway. If you see any rust around this area anywhere, this is a giveaway that the solenoids are most likely leaking. So we're going to replace this and we're going to seal up the solenoids here. I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay? So it comes out this whole part. This is the tray where the tray sits. This is the water intake, as you can see. So it just comes out. So what you got to do is you got to take this off. It slides. You got to finesse with it a little bit. Don't be shy. There's hooks, and 3 hooks in here, some hooks on the bottom. It will come off. All of this will be just like hanging loose. So don't worry about it. It's not really a problem. Okay? It's dripping, and there's rust right on this air pump. This is the main bad boy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, this is a brand new pump. I think it's like 12 bucks or something like that. It's not bad. Here's the thing. Comes in with this cord. And of course, I'm lazy. I don't want to work too hard. If you can see, if you can follow this cord, it goes all the way around and on the other side into the box. You can put it in, you can go through all the troubles, unlinking it, linking back in, and go through it. For me personally, it's just easier. I cut it out, solder it in, put some shrink tubes on top, and it's good to go. Alright, let's get started. Sure. Alright, so I put a new one in. There's the tubing. Here's the new wires. There's a little soldering with the shrink tube. And I just added a little zip tie here just above the solenoid. So even if it drips, it doesn't drip on my soldering. Just in case my shrink tube is not, has a hole in there somewhere or something like that. But other than that, this is done. All you gotta do is assemble this back on and test it out and see if it works. That's it. Hey guys, so this thing's almost back together now. I just gotta clean up this edge. These solenoids here, right here, I don't know if you can't really see them, but it's getting a little too dark. But this one and this one, what I usually do is I put a little super glue around the edge from the bottom so they don't leak. This time I'm not doing it. This is just one of my experimental units. You can see how it does. The only other option I was thinking of putting new ones in, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have the same problem. I'm not an expert in them. If you have any ideas how to fix them a little better than super glue, please put a comment down in the comment section. Alright guys, so this is the assembled unit that we're just fixing outside. Remember I said to cut off the little tip on the edge right here? Well, you can't really see it, but I stopped cutting right here, but I cut the rest of the lip, and this is what happens. Now it just sticks out just a little bit because 2 lips didn't fit properly. So I just overseen it. So now I have to take it apart and put it back together again, just this little top part. So that's going to be quick. It's not going to take me as long. Well, let's give it a shot, see if it works. Ready to brew. Something in there. Close it. It's ready to brew. So originally it wasn't working whatsoever. There's nothing. And it should pour about 300, just a little over 300 mils. That's a third little mark right here. Perfect. So that was a large cup. So I usually test on all of them just to make sure it works. And that's how you fix it, guys. Have any questions, let me know.